We are here doing an oral history project dealing with Islam and the Black freedom struggle. My name is Sharif Muhammad, also known as Frank Bean, and we are here interviewing the legendary minister Abdul Rahman here at temple number 15. The date is March 2nd, 3:28 p.m. And I thank you for your time.
My pleasure.
Thank you for your time. So, Minister Rahman, last time we spoke, we had talked a great deal about your involvement in growing the nation here in Atlanta, and I wanted to sort of turn the focus towards the relationship between the nation and the Orthodox Sunni Muslim community here. What was the relationship between the nation and the Orthodox Sunni Muslims?
Well, I think in the past it have been, we may say, a difference because of theology and understanding. But I think as time have eroded, that from what I'm hearing today, that they want to, we have more of a relationship of unity today than we had 2 years ago. From what I hear, from coming from Atlanta Masjid and Nuk Manoon over, most of those brothers was in the Nation of Islam prior to turning to what we call Orthodox Islam. And they began to see that, proselytizing the religion, they're not moving as fast as we in the Nation of Islam, because the Nation of Islam have a mission of resurrecting our people. And I think, in fact, I know that I see that they're coming this way, and we're coming that way. See, I know their way. I lived in under what we call tradition of Islam for quite a while, and I saw where the mission was lost there. Well, no emphasis put on resurrecting people from drugs, alcohol, eating swine flesh, and it wasn't no emphasis put. So that made me come back to the Nation of Islam. And coming back to the Nation of Islam made me realize that this is the only way Muslims are going to be able to make it, because the old way of Islam, by me going to the East and looking at what old Islam had produced, there's division there. And see, Muslims don't supposed to fight one another. And you find all the Muslims, because if you ain't Shiite, you ain't Sufi, this is a big difference. So what we see in the relationship with that, we're pointing out the shortcomings of the Muslim world in order to bring everybody together under one teaching, one Nation of Islam, as the Prophet pronounced that we're one Nation of Islam. There ain't no separation. Prophet Muhammad didn't know about no Sufis and Sunni Muslims and Ahmadiyya. He didn't know nothing about that. So the enemy have caused us to stray like that, and straying like that, naturally there'll be an enemy against the Nation of Islam. Naturally there'll be an enemy each other. So we knowing this, we're working toward making our brothers in the other, what we call tradition of Islam, see the effect of Satan and try to bring everybody under the same tent once again.
Do you feel that the African American Sunni Orthodox community has abandoned the plight of Black America in an attempt to become post-racial or transcendental? They don't deal with race or politics of African Americans.
You saying the tradition of Islam is
that a lot of African American Muslims who practice Sunni or Orthodox are not as interested in the plight of black people in America. Do you feel that?
Yeah, I feel that they're not really interested in the plight of black people because we don't hear no outcry coming from there. We don't hear no protesters coming from there. And, to be factually, the murdering of these young boys being around the country, the only outcry you hear is coming out of the Nation of Islam. I mean, it may be some outcry, but we don't hear it. We might mumble behind to each other about it, but it should be made publicly that we're not going along with the injustice that our people are receiving here in America. So I feel like they have abandoned that. As we say, the proof is there. If they was concerned, we would hear from them.
Well, you said that the Orthodox mainstream Muslim community is leaning towards a nation, and the nation is leaning that way, their way. Could you go into more detail? Could you elaborate?
Well,
In what ways?
Well, the way is this. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us this. He taught us that he is bringing a new Islam. But God came to him and gave him a new Islam, was more industrious, more technology. And he said, we'll keep the principles of Islam forever. We bear witness that there is no God but Allah. We bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. And we pray 5 times a day. We practice charity. And we fast in the month of Ramadan. That is Islam. So now other theologies that we go along with or disagreeable with, that's besides the point. We in the Nation of Islam believe in the same principles of Islam that any Muslim on the planet believe in. And if you believe in that, you're a Muslim. When you take the Shahada, you bear witness there ain't no God but Allah, Muhammad is his messenger. We believe that. See? But we also believe that the great Mahdi, who have been prophesied to come, has come. And he came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever, and started Islam in America. It's the traditional brothers from back east didn't bring Islam in. Master Farad Muhammad brought it and put it in Elijah's hand. And Elijah Muhammad stood up against the whole world and the very enemies of Islam. Prior to Elijah Muhammad standing up, if you came here and said, Assalamu alaikum, they would put you in prison, lock you up, or deport you. But by him being homeborn, they couldn't push him out. So he was able to establish Islam in this country. Now, the enemy, knowing that Elijah eventually going to get everybody, so what he have done, he allowed traditional Islam to come in, knowing that you're going to fight this because of theology difference, because you don't believe God came in a person. And that's what the biggest hang-up. So the enemy let traditional Islam come in, and because of what Elijah Muhammad had done, because he figured he needed someone else to fight the Nation of Islam, because his fighting us wouldn't help none whatsoever.
When you think of the contribution that the nation made in the area of what we call black religion, or really we have this sort of black religious universe that African Americans have this spirituality that is notable, noticed among everyone, including people from overseas. Do you feel that the nation, one of the contributions of the nation was that it broke the monopoly that the black church had on religion among black people in America?
You said our relationship?
That one of the things that the nation did was break the monopoly that the black church had on religion in America.
Oh, I think so. In fact, I know so that we'll change many opinions about whether people became Muslims or not. I don't think you find people believing no more by the heaven in the sky. I don't believe too many people believe that you're gonna go to hell after you die. So from hearing what we was teaching, have changed and broke many, when we say hope and locks that the people had on the minds of people. I think the Nation of Islam have done that, yes.
And you would say that having broken that monopoly, that it sort of opened up the pathway for other religious
Of course,
orientations
yeah.
and members of the conscious community, as well as Orthodox Muslims to come in.
Yes, of course it have, because I think when a man realized he had the slave master's religion, I think that he wanted to reach back home and find out his roots, his real religion. And the only thing they could find would be Islam. So many of us want to be ourselves. We have chosen our names of our forefathers. We have chosen some of the attributes of Allah. And we have converted back to that, which is good. All that's good. Although, I'll say, I have to repeat it again. The enemy wants it that way because he wants to keep friction going. See, and he has succeeded in the East, where Islam is dominant at. In Muslim countries, he has succeeded in getting Muslim countries to fight one another. So, as our folks said, he brought let tradition of Islam coming in to fight the Nation of Islam, because the Nation of Islam have a teaching that will free everybody. Because once you believe in Islam like we should believe it, you ain't afraid of nobody. You don't fear nothing but Allah. See, and we demonstrate that daily in the Nation of Islam. See, and I think that if you don't come through that kind of teaching, that kind of understanding of who you're dealing with, fear still exists. For instance, in the Muslim world, they fear America. Right? Otherwise, they would be united and fighting against the tyranny of America. See, but by them being divided and fearing America, if they were real Muslims, like I say, they have gotten away from the prophet. Because the prophet say, 3 generations after me would not build me. He didn't say we're going to come back. He said 3 generations after me would not build me. See, until the Mahdi come, he is the one to bring everybody back on the right path. He's the one, the self-guided one that's been prophesied to come. And we believe that one to be Master Farad Muhammad, which will bring us all back together. See, and that would settle all differences the way Islam is going today. All right, I don't think I finished that question now. I think I got off the path a little bit, but go ahead.
No, it was good.
Thank you.
So, what country? You said, did you live in a Muslim country?
Oh, I'm Al Hajj. I made Hajj in '77, and I seen a lot of ignorance in the East. I went there with W.D. Muhammad, and I saw a lot of ignorance there. I seen, what I'm saying, disunity there. I saw all of that. But Hajj is a beautiful thing. I'm not saying nothing against Hajj, because it's the most beautiful thing I had ever been in. Seeing all people from everywhere, all around the world, making Hajj, making their tawafs around the Kaaba and saying their prayers, going to Muzdalifah, Mina, stoning the devil and all of that. All that was good and beautiful, But Elijah Muhammad gave us an understanding of all of that. See now, say for instance, you stone a devil. Well, who is the devil you're stoning? That's one of the riches on Hajj. One of the riches on Hajj, you kiss the black stone. What does the black stone represent? And for instance, the Kaaba is covered with a black veil and trimmed in gold. And then you travel around the Kaaba 7 times. What does it mean? Why 5 times? Why not 9 times? Why 7? And why is it covered in black and trimmed in gold? So all that means something. But Elijah Muhammad taught us all these things, what it meant, and can't nobody prove him wrong. The black stone is us. The Bible said the stone that the builders rejected have became the head of the corner. Just like we pay homage to that stone in Mecca, one day they're gonna pay homage to the black man of the world, because we're the ones that build the kingdom of God. We're the ones. The stone we've been the ones been rejected. Now Allah has chose us to build the kingdom of heaven for Him. So otherwise, it's all written ahead of time. You see, Elijah Muhammad taught us we write history to last for 25,000 years in advance. Not after it happened, before it happened. And points it out to us in Scripture where we living right through it. See, now if you was to say right now, if you read about Jesus, how they hated Jesus in the Bible without a cause, most people put that way back there, 2,000 years ago. But that's going on now. They hate Brother Minister Farrakhan without a cause. He ain't did nothing to nobody, but told the truth. And they hate him for it. See? Elijah Muhammad says he had to go away. For he had not go away, the comfortable should not come. That's all in the book. Who is the comfortable? The book said he would take of me and show it unto you. Farrakhan took it down to Elijah Muhammad and showed it to us. The book said he would lead you and guide you into all truths when he comes. Farrakhan done done that. You cannot think of not one thing that Minister Farrakhan have not taught. You can't, whether you like him or not. Many people like him, love him, and some of us hate him. But you cannot deny he uncovered everything. And the book said he would take of me and show it unto you. And that's proof that what we thought happened 2,000 years ago is happening today. Because Elijah Muhammad said we wrote it 15,000 years ago, and we're in the 15,000 year cycle now. 16,000 year cycle right now. See, we got a little over 9,000 more to go in this cycle that's already been written. See, these are wisdom and things that we don't know about. And the reason we don't know about it because we have not allowed Elijah Muhammad to teach us. See, Elijah Muhammad said God told him that we write this history for 25,000 years. So why write it for 25,000 years? He said the earth is 24,896 miles in circumference. So we write history that lasts for every year, approximately 25,000 years for the circumference of our earth. See, everything is right and exact in Islam. See, and by him teaching, he didn't teach us the knowledge of the prophet. He taught us the knowledge of God. That's the difference between the Nation of Islam and what we call tradition of Islam. See, because we're dealing in God's knowledge.
You mentioned that the relationship between the nation and the Orthodox Muslim community is improving. Do you feel that those Orthodox Muslims for whom the nation has very positive relationships with are mostly that of the Muhammad community?
I think so. Really, I do think so because they're more familiar with us.
Right.
I mean, especially the older ones now. And because I can't get not one, not really, Wardin used to talk derogatory things against his father, some of our ways and everything. But when it boiled all down, I've heard, now I'm not sure, that he wanted to come back to the Nation of Islam, just like Malcolm wanted to come back after he went out. He wanted to get back. We got letters where Malcolm tried to get back. But Mr. Muhammad let him stay out there a little longer, and he got killed before he could get back. Because he had done a, real hypocritical thing against the Nation of Islam when he went out. You don't talk against a hand that's been feeding you all the time. Seeing a man that brought you out of prison and gave you a wisdom that put you on top of the planet, you don't turn against him, under no circumstances. So Malcolm turned against him, so he ended up the way he is.
How did Malcolm's transition out of the nation to Orthodox Islam affect the relation between the nation and Orthodox Muslims, as well as the perception?
Well, at that time, it seemed like what we call Orthodox Islam was favorable to people who loved Malcolm at the time, or wanted to be with Malcolm at the time. But it didn't hurt us at all, because when Malcolm left us, we began to grow faster. Because all I wanted to show us, it wasn't Malcolm, it's the wisdom of Elijah, the wisdom that he taught us. When Malcolm was around, we didn't have all anything. But after he left, we started selling the Muhammad Speak newspaper from around 100,000 to 1 million. Around 1970, we was up to 1 million papers a issue. We was able to buy 10,000 acres of farming land in Georgia, in Michigan, Mississippi, hundreds of head of cattle, beef cattle, sheep, We have milk dairies in Michigan and Georgia. See, none of this was happening when Malcolm was here. So what I'm saying is, we grew stronger after he grew, because Malcolm believed that he was the big noise in Islam, which he was the most spokesman that Mr. Muhammad had. That's true. But he's not the one who makes a man believe. Holy Quran said, no soul believes if it's not the will of Allah. See? So you take too much on yourself and think too much of yourself, and that's when you find yourself being a base low. See? Man should never think too much of himself and too little of himself. Stay in the middle ground.
Had you spoken with Malcolm after he left?
Yes, I spoke to him. He came to Miami, but he didn't let me know what was happening. He came to Miami to try to pull Muhammad Ali with him when he was splitting with us. But I didn't know he was splitting when he was talking to me. He came there. In fact, we were instrumental in bringing him there. I was with Ali in Miami at the time, so we gave him a vacation because he couldn't speak. So when he came to Miami, he would play his tapes at the dinner table. And to me, I said, well, poor Malcolm, he wanted to preach so much till he listened to himself on his tapes. But I know he had another agenda in mind, but I didn't know it. He asked me one day, he said, we was keeping it quiet on Cassius Clay being a Muslim, because, it wasn't favorable in those days, especially against this world. So they say, he asked me, he said, if I go over to the gym, would I hurt Brother Cassius? I said, hell yeah, man, yeah, everybody know you. That's what I told him. But he didn't listen to me. He was at the gym before we got there. When I brought Ali up the steps of the gym, he up there taking pictures of us coming up the gym step. So it broke all out then. Malcolm recruiting Cassius Clay into the Black Muslim movement. So it hit the world. And so everybody thought that Malcolm brought Ali into the Nation of Islam, but I had him in the nation 2 years before all of that ever happened. And then when Ali won the fight that night, and then I saw Malcolm weaving himself through the crowd to get to Ali so he could, like he was telling Ali something. I didn't pay none of that no attention. I was looking at all that. Then I went to Chicago the next day, was Savior's Day, February 26, 1964. Yusuf Shah, Malcolm's captain in New York at that time, told me what Malcolm was planning, that he was planning to split from the Nation of Islam and set up his own movement, and told me, get him out of your city with that in mind. So I came back to Miami, but he was gone. When I got to Miami, he was gone. So I told Ali what Malcolm was planning and that he was a target of Malcolm to pull him with Malcolm. So Ali didn't halfway believe me at the time, but they went on to New York, went to the Teresa Hotel, and Malcolm was talking to Ali about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad domestic life in a derogatory way, and Ali's brother, Rahman Ali, jumped on Malcolm physically for talking against the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, which it was dangerous to do that in those days. And they pulled Rahman off of Malcolm, and I believe what I had told Ali and how his brother reacted saved Ali from going with Malcolm. I believe that today. So when Ali went on to Africa and came back, Malcolm was a full-blown hypocrite to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad at that time. So that went on for about practically another year, then he got assassinated. And the enemy killed him because they saw the split wasn't working, and they had him to kill to put people against the Nation of Islam. All that is the CIA and the FBI doing. We didn't do it because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad ordered us not to do it. Now don't bother him, because he wanted them to come back. He really did, but he was on his terms, not on Malcolm's terms. Yes.
What was the tenor of the nation after Malcolm was assassinated?
Well, some people was happy, some wasn't. When you talk about somebody you really love in a derogatory way, your love for them can turn to hate. My love for Malcolm turned to hate right away when he started talking strongly against the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Farrakhan's love for Malcolm turned to hate at that time. But the messenger gave us orders, and we obeyed his orders. He told us not to bother. See, and at the same time, Wallace was out there doing the same thing Malcolm was doing. Wardeen was. All of them was opposing the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Was there any backlash that you experienced personally after the assassination of Malcolm?
No. After that, after that, we grew faster and stronger. Yeah. And after we learned a lot of things, we began to somewhat forgive Malcolm for what he had done against his teacher. See, that was the mistake he made. He got on television with the enemy, and he knew it was the enemy, and said derogatory thing. I heard it myself, talking to Cupson in Chicago, or enemy of Islam, or enemy of black folks. And that was Malcolm's biggest mistake, to me. But no, it didn't hurt the Nation of Islam one bit.
And did you continue to have a close relationship with Imam Wardeen Muhammad up until his death, his transition?
Well, like this. I tried to work with him up to 77. From 75 to 77, I went on Hajj. And after I got off of Hajj, I went back to work with Muhammad Ali. I just somewhat left Islam, period, because Elijah Muhammad's teaching went around. So I left that, and I was seeing him from time to time. We greet one another, you know what I'm saying? And I ran into him coming through the airport once. We waved at each other. And when he come to Atlanta, I would go hear him speak, And but that's about the most that we done. I didn't get to no one-on-one talk with him no more. But I was always hoping that we all sit under the same tent again. I'm hoping for that today. All Muslims sit under the same tent, with one consent. Unity and brotherhood. Now, I'm going to show you how hatred is some of the traditional boys is. One of my brothers went to a Jummah prayer, and they wouldn't let him in, saying that he was following Farrakhan, and a brother wanted to come in for Jummah prayer. And what kind of Muslim is that to turn another Muslim around for prayer? See, that's not right. See, that's hatred. That's pure hatred. Foreign Muslims come down here. I have Jummah prayer down here on Friday. Foreign Muslims come down here looking white as white, and they want to come in and pray. I bring them right on in here. Let them sit up here and hear the kook and they pray with us. See that's poison out there for a man to have a masjid or somewhere in Atlanta and don't want a Muslim brother to come in because he belongs to the Nation of Islam. That's terrible. And we the ones made Islam established in America. We did it. Can't nobody else claim it.
And this was not Imam Waterdean Muhammad's community.
I don't know who. Say, Kenneth, did you hear about that? What I'm talking about? This Muslim went to this Jummah prayer and they didn't want to let. Huh? No, it wasn't Atlanta. It wasn't Atlanta. No, it wasn't there. No, I don't think it was there. No, it wasn't there. Because I done been out there too many times. Out there to their masjid. I done been to Manum over on, I done been to his place. It's one of these other ones. I think it's one of these other ones. I don't know exactly which one it was, but the brother come back and told me that. But that's terrible if that happened. That's real terrible. If the enemy really want to pray, goddamn, I'll watch him and let him pray. I ain't gonna stop him from praying.
So,
Yeah.
it was said that a lot of immigrant Muslims were closeted Muslims until the nation came on the scene.
Yeah, that's the truth. Well, Noble Drew Ali had made a few Muslims, but nobody, they hid. When the nation come on the scene, they come out the closet. Then you had foreign Muslims who was in this country. They came out, the bold stand that Elijah Muhammad made. He established it.
Why do you think Honorable Elijah Muhammad's mission was more successful and dynamic than, say, other Muslim groups in America during the 30s and 40s that were around?
Well, see, Elijah Muhammad is in the book for one thing. The history I told you about. See, we can show you him in the book. First of all, he taught you who you are. See, that's important. When a man calling himself a Negro or colored boy, a spook, coon, shine, sway, all those names was called to us, niggas and all of that. And he tell you not none of that. So by nature, you're a Muslim. And then he said, you are the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner. Nobody was here before you. And he proved it genetically, historically. He can prove it. See? So we know he couldn't have got this knowledge from no one but a higher authority than man. You know, white folks ain't gonna teach you the original man. And then he taught us the white man was the real devil that the Bible talks about. See? So that enables us. When the prophecy is there in the book where Abraham tells God to know of a surety, your seed shall be a stranger in a land that's not theirs, and they shall serve a nation for 400 years. And he said, after that time, I will come. And that fitted right in at the time I came in. We got here in Jamestown in 1555. I heard these teachings in 1955, exactly 400 years. So when I seen that, and it's written there, I can't deny it because it's there. I know I'm in a strange land serving another strange people. It's right there in my eyes. And then you go to the Malachi and say, before the great and the dreadful day of the Lord, I will send you Elijah. And Elijah shall turn the hearts of the children to the father, and the father's heart to the children. My heart was turned from Elijah to my real father, Allah. He fulfilled it all, and still fulfilling it. But that's why we was able to make more converts and still make them convert with that teachings. See, you know, with the masjid, they're not teaching this, because they put Elijah Muhammad's teaching to the side.
When you came into the nation, 50s, what was the relationship like between the nation and, say, the Moorish Science Temple here in Atlanta?
I always had a good relationship with them.
Were they a large community?
Small, always was small. Always small. But the ones I read into, brothers, you know. The Nation of Islam is a brother to every black man in the world. And we want you to share with us. Right today, we don't care whether you're Christian or not, or if you're righteous. You can be anything you want to do, just be righteous. And if you're righteous and we're trying to be righteous, we're the same. Take all the religious names and throw them away. Just throw them away. See? Righteousness is what's counting. That's the only thing gonna save any of us is our righteousness. So if you righteous, mean you can call yourself anything, mean you brothers. See? And all these labels want to keep us divided. Shiite, Ahmadi, Sufi, that'll keep us divided. Throw the names away. Let's be righteous, be brothers.
Did you have a relationship, did you and the nation have a relationship with the Ahmadiyya movement in the 50s? Were they here in Atlanta?
Well, I can't say we had a relationship. I always was, during my tenure as minister, I always had my hand out, you know, for brotherhood, you know. I invite them to affairs we used to have, like dinners and banquets, you know, yeah. See, I'm still like that.
Real quick, you mentioned the farmland, livestock. Is it true that someone poisoned some of the livestock?
Yeah, well, the devil gave a man working for us in Pell City, Alabama, poisoned some of our cattle, killed them. I went over and saw them. Saw the dead cattle laying out.
I was in Alabama last week, and they told me about that.
It made international news that somebody had poisoned our cattle. The devil paid the brother to do it. We found out who did it. We broke his kneecaps.
Was he in the nation, or was he?
No, just a hired hand. We had a lot of people wasn't in the Nation of Islam. Because, you know, when a man gets in the city, very few want to go back to the farm. Very few. All right.
Yes.
We did an interview of Dr. Antar. I don't know if you know who that is, but he was part of the Dar movement. And he said Dar and the nation, in a lot of ways, they didn't get along. It was hostile, especially in the 70s. And
What movement?
Dar, that was the same one Imam Jamil was a part of, H. Brown. They came from out of, I think they believe they started in New York. But what happened,
I ain't never heard of them.
see, it's connected with the nation in the sense that something happened here in Atlanta where the Dar guys beat up a nation guy. And
Well.
this brother, Dr. Antar, had a twin brother, and they don't know who did it. They assumed that the nation, there was about to be a war down here in Atlanta. Because
What year was that?
the brother was put on his knees and shot on a street corner.
What year was that?
It had to be in the late 60s or the 70s.
No,
They
no.
said it was right before Imam Muhammad took the leadership.
No, I was the minister here then, so none of that ever happened.
Well, this was
Well, see, that's garbage there. 'Cause I was the minister here from 69 all the way up to Wardeen took over.
They said that he said that a lot of the Muslims from out of New York drove down here. That was part of the Dar movement.
That's bull. You mean? It's bull.
Well,
Never happened. Tell him to come to me with that. I tell him he's lying.
I'm not saying that he said you guys did.
I ain't talking about that. It never happened.
Nah, the brother was. It's his twin brother. His brother did get killed.
Where?
On the street corner, right up in the West End.
I don't know nothing about
Put on
that.
his knees and killed.
And he was the name. What did you say the name of the group?
Dar al-Islam.
He was a Muslim? I don't know nothing about
They
it.
were militant. They were the guys who wore the combat fatigue with the combat.
I don't even know nothing about them. I'm serious.
I know if you don't remember.
I don't even know that. No, I would remember if they exist. And if I had seen them, I would remember. In opposition, I remember all that.
Okay, well,
You and Newton come here once.
it's the same community that's over there in the West End that Imam Jamil is over. That same community.
I got one of my brothers over there now. It's from over here. See? Yeah, I really ain't never heard that before. What you talking about? I'm serious.
I believe you if you don't remember.
So when you call another group too?
Yeah.
Was there any violence at all between Nation and Orthodox Muslims here in Atlanta?
It might be one or two incidents when with some of my brothers, but not from us. Because now if this man was in the street selling papers, and one of them come up and say something derogatory, it's a fight. It's gonna be a fight like that. So that happens several times.
But nothing.
Not that I know of. No, not to the point where it was explosive. That's what he talking about. I don't know what's happening with that. I'll check into that because I don't know nothing about that. Well, I know everybody don't tell the leader what's going on. I was the leader here at that time, so sometimes the troops don't tell you everything going on now.
Were there people who were in the Nation but sort of out there on the outskirts?
Well, it was like this here. Once, if you didn't come to the mosque, you was out under my administration. I didn't play with slackness. You in today and going tomorrow, and I didn't play that. If you was here, if you was with me, you would ride with me every day. I got to see you at least once a week. And if you didn't do the work, you was out of luck with me. Otherwise, if you was with me, you're going to sell papers, you're going to bring the people out the street, the lost found, and you was going to donate your charity so we could, you're going to practice charity so we could do what we needed to do. So we didn't have nobody hanging out at a distance and claiming to be. You either was in or you was out. Ain't that right, Kenna?
It's a tight ship.
Tight ship. And see, because I believe this, Elijah Muhammad taught me that God taught him the restrictions of the law is the key to your success. And that's the law, what I was just talking about. Strictness, otherwise you're supposed to make the meeting. If you didn't come in a week, we investigate you. We will find out where you at, what you doing. And some people can't handle it. And see, a lot of things, let me tell you something else, son. Everybody can't handle what we're doing. No, everybody can't be a Muslim in the Nation of Islam. They can be a Muslim, but they can't handle what we do. It takes special type of men to handle this. See, the discipline we have is real strict. It's strict. We soldier. We take martial arts. We do calisthenics.
You know Brother Anthony?
Anthony? Which Anthony? I know.
Chicago.
I'm sure I do.
Say Anthony, martial art Anthony.
Yeah, I'm sure I do. So many Anthonys. Yeah. No, we ride a tight ship. See, you don't come to the mosque, we want to know why not? What you doing? See, we keep each other strong. Because if a man starts wavering, what's he going to run into? Some drugs? He's going to run into some fornication? Somebody pull it in the way. Once you say you believe like this, and we're on a mission, the mission is to save our people from the evil of this world. That's the mission.
You mentioned martial arts. Did you know Dr. Moses Powell?
Knew him like I knew him. Like I know that brother there. Me and him was just like that. I know his ex-wife. I don't know what she came today. Yeah. Yeah, he was a bad man. That brother Moses Powell, boy.
Do you know him here in Atlanta or in New York?
I knew him in New York and then in Atlanta. Yeah, I knew him.
Any stories you wanna?
I know. He's a smart man. Well, he was working security with the minister one time. And we seen atmosphere wasn't right sometime. So he stopped the minister from going in the place, which I agreed with him. The atmosphere wasn't right.
You ever witnessed him go lay hands on someone?
No, I never did that. No. I seen him and his brothers working out in gyms, you know.
What's up, man?
All right, got me tired now. You got enough? All right. All right, thank you now.
Well, we appreciate your time.
All right, brother, thank you now.
And,
Thank you.
I hope to do it again.
All right, I hope you get something out of that.